It's a beautiful Wednesday, September 24th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful, award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And John Mateer is getting thumb surgery today in LA.
Right on schedule, right? Isn't this what we all had planned for the bye week?
Thought it was just going to be a calm week, Ted. And
No, not
clearly,
college football. We never have those.
Oklahoma football just can't have a week of, just no content. I thought we were going to come on here and talk about the annual opponents in the schedule for the next 4 seasons, Ted. And instead, we're talking about arguably the best player in college football having surgery on his throwing hand. Not ideal, man. Huge bummer. He's the best quarterback in college football, and he's going to miss some time. There's no other way. This stinks. It's terrible. I hate it.
I know that I was frustrated with all the injuries that had kind of piled up, and then it's like, okay, we made it through the Auburn game. We're going to be able to heal up and get ready for this stretch run. Not so fast. I mean, if it had to happen, it happened at the right time, but again, like puts OU Texas and several games in jeopardy, but that's why we talked about the quarterback room and what a blessing it was to have a backup like Mike Hawkins around.
There's no doubt. And I think that, going back and thinking about the Auburn game, like I mentioned it to you, not over the air, but during a TV timeout, like, hey man, he's kind of messing with his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure what was going on with it, but he was throwing the ball really well. So I was like, it must not, maybe he just jammed his thumb, because I remembered the play where it was his hand got caught on Falk's arm. I was just like, oh, that didn't look good. But the way that he threw it in the second half, I was just thinking, maybe he jammed his thumb. No big deal. Well, big deal.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah.
The photographer, he works at KREF at the radio station. I mean, it's like the perfect picture, right? Is his thumb is slamming into that gigantic hand of Falk. Seeing those two hands next to each other is almost comical.
Yeah. He's a large human, no doubt about it. But before we dive into what this means for the season and for Michael Hawkins, I would just like to point out that Mateer played the whole Auburn game with a sprained knee and a broken throwing hand.
Hey,
Dog.
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 And you never knew, right?
Well, anyone with eyes that was down on the field level knew something was going on with his knee. I mean, you could see the tape job through the sleeve. Anyone with eyes could see that. It was, I had several, there were a ton of NFL scouts there. I was talking to a bunch of them. Every one of them noted it. I was like, hey, guy's playing hurt. He's about to ball out. Watch this. Yep. That's exactly what he did. I did not know that he was going to have to play pretty much the entire football game with a broken throwing thumb, though.
Yeah, and I don't know how most people's thumbs work, but for me, a broken thumb, detrimental to me throwing the football very good.
I've never had the pleasure of breaking a thumb, but I assume I don't throw very well anymore with the shoulder anyway. So I can't imagine it would go well.
I've torn ligaments in both of my thumbs, and I basically wanted to cry like a baby, even having to brush my teeth. So I can't imagine playing an entire game with a thumb like that, trying to grip that ball, rip it. I mean, you think back to like the exchange that they fumbled. Does that have something to do with it? I don't know, but give the man his props for fighting through and and still playing a hell of a football game. It's impressive.
Game-winning drive with the sprained knee and a broken thumb on your throwing hand.
No big deal.
NFL teams aren't going to like that at all. So the natural question is, how long is he going to be out?
Yep.
And I feel like the simple answer is this is not what OU fans would hear, but hey, when he's ready.
Yep. Probably in surgery as we're taping this. And I don't think anyone knows until the surgeon gets in there and sees what he's working with. Maybe it's better than they thought. Maybe it's a more difficult surgery than they thought. So, I mean, that's step one to finding out what it looks like and how long the recovery is going to be.
Everyone wants to know, hey, is he going to be back for OU Texas? We don't know. I wish we did, but we don't know. And the thing is, not all thumb fractures are created equal.
Yep.
There's a bunch of different things that could be going on. So, like you mentioned, you get in there and you assess the situation, and then we'll probably know more here in the next couple of days. But he is going to the thumb guy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know that there's a nice clientele list of big name guys that this doctor's operated on. So makes you feel like they're going to the right guy. That's why they're going all the way across the country to get it done.
Yeah, Dr. Steven Shin, he's done Drew Brees, Mike Trout, Steph Curry. Steph Curry's got valuable thumbs.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So Mateer's in good hands, but I think the most notable one for this situation is the surgery he did on Jared Goff back in 2020. Goff had surgery on December 28th, 2020. He was back playing in a playoff game January 9th, 2021. That being said, we don't know if Mateer's injury is the same as Goff's.
Right.
All kinds of different things it can be. So we know he's in good hands. He's in the hands of the best with Steven Shin, but we'll see, man. All I know is there are an incredible number of people in the state of Oklahoma and around the country praying for that man's thumb today.
Yes, they are. And I mean, it was tough. I was doing my show yesterday whenever the news broke, and everyone pretty much that walked by was like, "What happened? Why is it? Why us?
Why
It's
can we
going to
not
be
have
okay.
nice things?"
We're going to be just fine."
So he'll be back when he's back. Now, I just watched the guy play an entire football game with a sprained knee and a broken thumb on his throwing hand. So will I be shocked if he's back for the Texas game? No, I will not be shocked. He just showed me everything I need to know about him.
Right.
But you got to be smart with this. It's not only this season. Mateer's in the discussion for being the first quarterback off the board in the draft now with the way that he's played.
Right.
So you got to factor all of that in if you're him and the people around him. So I have zero doubts that they're going to do the best thing for John Mateer. And in my opinion, the best thing for John Mateer is ultimately the best thing for Oklahoma football. So we'll see what it ends up looking like, man. But you look at the schedule, you got the bye week this weekend, Kent State, Texas, then South Carolina, then Ole Miss, then Tennessee. One thing I was thinking about is, let's say he does miss Texas, which would break my heart for him because he's from Little Elm. You know he understands what that game is. That would be – I can only imagine how tough that would be for him to miss that game. But let's say he misses it. Back for the game at South Carolina, do you feel like you can get through that one without him? I don't know. South Carolina is a good football team. They may not be as good as some people thought they were going to be, but they're still a really good football team, especially with Lenore Sellers when he's healthy. So I don't know, man. It's kind of just a guessing game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and
Maybe I'm
until we
just
find
wasting our time trying to figure it out. Probably am.
well, I mean, it's what everyone wants to know right now, and unfortunately, there's not a clear answer to that. I would say, and this isn't anything groundbreaking, but highest probability probably Ole Miss. Next, probably South Carolina, and then below that is Texas. Not a 0% chance of Texas, but um, I would expect, knowing what we know now, that he will be back for Ole Miss. And then you just kind of taper down the expectations in any of the games before that. But, you know, it's happened before, and kind of the way it was a very thoughtful press release by Oklahoma, and the statements in there and from Venables, not taking really anything off the table, said he will miss some game time. Is that Kent State? Is that Kent State and Texas? Uh, it's hard to know really what the guidance is and what everyone's thinking.
Once again, with what John Mateer just showed me against Auburn, if he runs out of that tunnel against Texas, I'm not going to be surprised at all.
Well, and let me ask you this. Do you think there would be any appetite at all for Oklahoma to play him in the Texas game if he's not able to throw the ball very much, like
No,
as
you
dual
can't.
quarterback situation?
With what he's got, with what his future like is like, you just can't do that, in my opinion. Brent Venables, I don't think Brent Venables would do that. Now, Brent Venables is the most competitive man on the planet, but he also, I mean, he cares deeply about his players. I don't think they would put him out there if he wasn't able to go out there and play at a high level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this kind of transitions us into the other piece of this conversation. Yes, it's a huge bummer that Mateer's going to miss time. He's one of the most entertaining players in the sport. He was the Heisman Trophy favorite. This is a massive deal. It's horrible for all of us that are Oklahoma fans, but at least you have a guy like Michael Hawkins to take over. And I can just tell you with 100% certainty, this is a guy that the coaching staff believes in. This is a guy the coaching staff believes has really improved through the offseason, through training camp. And I know that there are a lot of people bringing up his play last year. That's not the player he is anymore.
And it's not the same team he's on either.
No.
Probably even more significant.
Arbuckle and Kuz have infused this guy with confidence. And I expect Michael Hawkins Jr. to play at a high level. Do I expect him to go out there and be John Mateer? No, I don't. But I expect him to embrace this opportunity and play really well. And if he can go out there against Kent State and play really well, and they can maximize his strengths and try to hide any of the weaknesses that Arbuckle and Kuz may think he has, then maybe that makes the Texas decision a little easier. Maybe you don't rush Mateer back out there on the field if you don't need to, right? If Hawkins is looking good and playing well, I think that's a piece of this as well moving forward. But we talked a lot about it during training camp when you and I were going out to practices. Hawkins, when I was out at practice, Hawkins had more wow moments than Mateer. Now, he was going against the twos. It's very important to acknowledge that. But as far as throws that made me go, whoa, dude, what? Whoa. Hawkins had more of those than Mateer. I've talked to multiple guys on the staff. Every time we talked about the offense, they would bring up how good Hawkins was looking and how talented he was. Multiple times people mentioned, hey, man, he may be the most talented guy we have in the quarterback room. Remember, John Mateer's in the quarterback room.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to be a sunshine pumper or anything like that. I'm just telling you, This staff believes in this guy.
Yeah.
They do. And now he's got to go out there and he's got to play at a high level. And that's what I expect from him. And I know he'll be prepared. I know he will. So I cannot wait to watch him play against Kent State.
I totally agree. And, you know, it was frustrating for me personally doing my radio show yesterday because as soon as this whole thing happened and we start talking about Mike Hawkins, well, here come people saying that, well, I've already seen Mike Hawkins. We couldn't even beat Navy with him at quarterback. And it's just so frustrating because the current situation on this football team it's not even comparable to what we had a year ago. The personnel surrounding him, he was a true freshman with a shell of an offensive line, none of the top skill position players out there on the field, a scheme and a system that really didn't have any direction. And you look at what there is now. Like, this is the type of situation you want a backup quarterback playing in, right? Maybe the best defense in the country on the very short list of teams that may have the best defense in the country. By the time you get to OU Texas, I think Giovanni Gibson is supposedly going to play against Kent State. I think the offensive line is going to have some time to get healthy and have your 5 out there that you want moving forward. It's such a better situation, a better scheme. He has a great understanding of it. He's surrounded by people that know this offense, know his capabilities, know what he can do in it. The situation's just so much better than it was when he played quarterback for us a year ago. It's not even close.
And they'll have Mateer helping him.
That's right.
And that's the thing. You make a great point, Ted. Clearly, the spotlight is on Michael Hawkins Jr. now. But this isn't all on him, man. It's up to every other guy that touches the field for this team to step their level of play up another notch. Offensive line, got to play better. Tight ends, running backs, wide receivers. Everyone has to play better around him and help him out. He doesn't have to go out there and be Superman. He doesn't have to go out there and be John Mateer. All he has to do is go out there, be himself, and run the offense. And it helps if everyone around him, the other 10 guys on the field with him, play at a high level.
Yep.
And something like this, you know the effect it can have on a locker room. Something like this turns the level of focus up for the entire group. It has to, man.
Yep.
And that's the beautiful thing about football. It's a team game. It's the ultimate team game. And it's up to the team around Michael Hawkins to help him out. So the defense has been really good. But it can go up another level. All they got to do is go listen to your recap of the way they played against Auburn. It can go up another level. It can be better. That's all I'm saying. Like, I know everyone wants to talk about Hawkins and what he did a year ago and will he be better? No. Everyone on this football team has to step it up and make it easy on him. That's what football is. Football's a team game, man. So that is what I expect. I expect Michael Hawkins to play at a high level, and I expect everyone around him to step up their game. That's what great teams do in a situation like this. And we'll find out what this team's made of.
I've been on a team twice that's happened. 2001, Jason White tore his ACL at Nebraska. 2002, Jason White tore his ACL at home against Alabama. And exactly what you're talking about. Everyone on the team, no one puts their head down and says, oh, there goes the season. Everyone tightens down the screws even more. And, you know the task that you're that's laid out in front of you. And if you have anything about you as a group, everyone comes together a little tighter, just like you pointed out. And I have a feeling that's exactly what's going to occur with this football team.
You think there's anything else we need to say about it? If it'd be awfully nice, like you mentioned, if the offensive line can get as healthy as possible before they run out there against Kent State. And you can get by. Kent State is not a good football team. You can get by if you need to give another guy, if you like Fasusi, if he needs another week, you need to get him ready for Texas. Like we can get past Kent State.
Yep. Now, I will ask you this. How, if at all, will the offense look different with Hawkins at the helm as opposed to Mateer? Now, the one thing that at least I thought was needed to be one of the um, biggest points of emphasis over this next 2 weeks before you go play Texas is we got to figure out, your traditional running game, which I think was probably going to change or like that. I don't think that Hawkins is going to change the influence over what they may do in the running game. That's a little bit different than they've done previously, but is there anything else that you see they may change or tinker with or that may look different under Hawkins?
How about we do, since OU doesn't play this week and you want to do an In the Weeds video on that for Tuesday?
That'd be good.
We can do that. But I think one of the biggest changes that I would make is in the read run game, instead of it being like the gap scheme stuff, hitting in between the tackles, I would make the QB run option stuff more perimeter oriented.
Attack the edges a little bit.
More of your traditional zone read where, there's a dive or inside element to it, and Hawkins is a threat to keep it on the perimeter. I would also dial up just some more perimeter QB run game. Now, do you want to use that stuff against Kent State? No. I don't think you need to run him a bunch against Kent State. I think you hand it off and you run your traditional run game.
I'd probably run him 0 against Kent State if you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. Just hand it off. Just a bunch of give it runs against Kent State. But I do think getting him out in space and using his speed, you have to use that speed as a weapon if you're Ben Arbuckle. And that's the thing about Arbuckle is so far he's done a great job of playing to his best player strengths. So I expect him to have a plan. Like you always have a plan if your QB1 goes down. It's not like this is the first time Ben Arbuckle has called plays with Michael Hawkins at quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think they'll do a lot of the same stuff in the passing game because the pass protection's been so good. And they feel like Hawkins has got a lot better from playing from the pocket. But so run game stuff, I think you get a little more QB element towards the edges of the defense. And then I think you can also get a little more QB draw going. I think that's a play that becomes a nice threat with Hawkins back there. And then pass game stuff, I think it's going to be pretty similar. Like you play from the pocket, you read it out. But two things that he did really well a year ago was throw it on the run, moving to his right, and just launching deep balls.
Yeah.
Like you think of that J.J. Hester throw against Auburn. Now, you got to run it efficiently and make defenses give you the coverages you're looking for in order to make those throws. So it's all connected, but that's what my three main things would be: more of a QB run element to the edge of the defense, deep go balls like, hey, just throw this thing. Burks, Satania, Javonte Gibson, go get it. And then get him out of the pocket a little more on the move, especially to the right, because his sprint pass stuff to the right side last year, he made some good decisions in those situations, which ironically is the concept that John Mateer got hurt on.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't know how you feel, but I can pretty much sum it all up by saying this. My opinion on it, anything moving forward, nothing has changed. I still think we can beat Kent State without Mateer. I think we can beat Texas without Mateer, South Carolina, Ole Miss. Would I prefer to have John Mateer at quarterback? Yes, clearly I would. But I've changed nothing as of right now. Maybe I watch the Kent State game and my opinion changes on that. But like I said, this is the situation that you would want a backup quarterback to play with. An incredible defense that can straight up win you football games. A good, solid core of offensive guys around you that are getting healthier. We're going to have all of our guys have access to Giovanni Gibson, and hopefully the offensive line is back ready to roll. If that's the case, I still love where this football team is sitting right now.
I'm with you, man. Want to talk some future schedule?
Sure.
It's what we were supposed to focus on till all this happened. All right, let's talk about OU's schedule. The annual opponents, we got a lot to talk about, Ted.
We
but
do.
First, taking a road trip this summer? Remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway, and with the Love's app, you can save big all summer long. You can save 10 cents per gallon on gas and up to 25 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app this summer and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
It's football time in Oklahoma, and you need beef built like our guys on the field. Premium, powerful, and ready to perform. That's Didier Ranch. They're a family ranch right here in Oklahoma, raising and shipping their own beef nationwide. Steaks, steak burgers, premium ground beef, and they hand deliver next day to the Oklahoma City metro and surrounding areas. Norman, Moore, Edmond, Yukon, right from their ranch to your doorstep, faster than the Sooner Schooner after a touchdown drive. Premium beef delivered. Visit DidierRanch.com and taste the luxury of tradition.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and proud official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. September in Oklahoma means one thing: OU football is here. And every home game this season will feature exclusive limited edition drinkware drops from Simple Modern. That means brand new designs only available at that game and while supplies last. You can also get $5 off our podcast tumbler with promo code GameDay on simplemodern.com. And with 10% of all profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans on and off the field. Simple Modern, good everywhere. The SEC announced the schedule for the next 4 years, Ted. We've got OU's SEC opponents through the 2029 season. Let's talk about the annual opponents first. The Sooners get Missouri, Ole Miss, and of course, Texas. What do you think? What do you think of the 3 annual opponents that we were dealt?
It would not have been the 3 that I would have selected, but it is what it is. And I love the rotation over the next 4 years. So you've got tons of premium games in there. Pretty much knew that we were going to, we knew Texas obviously had a very strong feeling about Missouri. We've been bombarded with that since we joined the SEC. Now, I was hoping for Arkansas or LSU as that other spot, but I'm okay with it. I'm fine. It caught me by surprise. Kind of feels like everyone at Ole Miss was feeling the same way, just kind of, okay. Didn't see that coming, but whatever. I mean, I think it's fine. There's, whether we want it or not, there's a natural little rivalry that's started with Oklahoma and Missouri. I know everyone wanted to say that that's been there forever. It hasn't, but it's been going pretty good since Venables and crew joined the program here. So I'm fine with it.
Let the fan bases just battle it out on Twitter.
Battle it out.
I am a little bummed we didn't get the LSU Thanksgiving week matchup for the next 4 years. I was hoping we'd get that. But when you look at the 3 annual opponents that OU got, when it comes to winning and losing football games, I'd rather have Missouri and Ole Miss than LSU
Yeah,
because peak LSU is better than peak Missouri and peak Ole Miss.
no doubt.
When LSU is right, like they're legit. So and Missouri and Ole Miss are playing some good ball
Yep.
this
Agreed.
season, and I expect them to continue to be good unless Lane Kiffin takes the Florida job. Just saying. But because those programs are investing heavily in winning. So is it the ideal three annual opponents? No, but it's I mean, you got to remember what we were playing against in the Big 12. I don't think OU fans are going to be mad. Oh, Ole Miss is coming to town. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I mean, Ole Miss is there. There was a time not very long ago that you'd be very underwhelmed with, this selection. But I mean, say what you want. Kiffin, since he's taken over there, they are a top half of the SEC type of football program. And I think that's going to continue to be the case as long as he's there. They're in a good spot. Some years a little bit better than others, but I imagine they're going to have an offense. They're going to have quarterbacks through their skill players. So it's going to be a fun matchup.
When you look at OU's draw with the annual opponents and compare it to some of the other schools, like at least we're not Auburn.
Yeah.
They get Bama and Georgia every year for the next 4 years. And I know the third one is Vandy. Vandy can beat you now.
I know. It's like, well, you get Alabama and Georgia. We'll give you Vandy, who's hasn't ever been any good. It's like, hang on a second. Have you seen Vanderbilt play recently? And I know Pavia's, well, maybe he will be there forever, but um, they've got it rolling in a totally different way right now. It's this task is like, can you imagine picking everyone's permanent opponents and being in the room with all the ADs and listening to the pushback from everyone? I don't wish this job on anybody. There's no good way to do it. And I did think though, as hard as it is, and with all like the tie-ins that you have, I do think they did a pretty good job trying to balance it out. But yeah, Auburn, tough.
Auburn, probably your biggest loser when it comes to the annual opponents. I think Texas A&M's right there with them because, they've got LSU, Texas, and Missouri. That's a rough draw. Arkansas, also a rough draw with LSU, Texas, and Missouri. I don't know, man. It is. What do you think? Like, who had the toughest one? It's got to be Auburn, right?
Has to be. Yep. Has to be. Um, I think that's number one. Number two, and it's hard because, like, for example, South Carolina has Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky. Well, Georgia, incredibly tough. Kentucky, not so much right now. But Florida's one of those teams where you never know what you're going to get. You may get a really, really good top 4 or 5 in the conference program, or you might get a team who started off horrible and things are falling apart. But Florida's going to be back at some point. We'll see when they bounce back, but
we probably would say Georgia's is really tough if it wasn't Georgia.
Yeah, that's true.
Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not easy, but it's Georgia, so we're like, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I
You're
think
right.
with
A&M though, with LSU, Texas, and Missouri, I mean,
when
are
those
10
three
win
teams are
football
at their
teams.
best,
Yeah.
that's now you could say, hey, when A&M's at its best, probably should be pretty good as well. But yeah, that's rough. I think undoubtedly though the biggest winner it's got to be Tennessee. You knew they were getting Bama because that's That's a massive rivalry game. But they feel like the big winner because the other two annual opponents are Vandy and Kentucky. And even though Vandy's a much better program now, and Stoops has done some really good things with Kentucky, Vandy and Kentucky every season are going to be two of the least talented rosters in the league.
Yep.
Two of the least talented three rosters, right? When you put Mississippi State in there as well. So I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you're looking at it going, nice.
Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned A&M with LSU, Missouri, and Texas. Arkansas has the same schedule, the same permanent opponents. They've got the same three, but they're in a totally different place right now than A&M is. So like it's dramatically harder for Arkansas right now than it is for A&M. Like that's not what you want with the current situation of your program. That is not the three permanent opponents you want to try and get things back online.
No, no. Now, we also know OU's SEC opponents for the next 4 years. Do you want to go through all of them, or does anything really stand out? Clearly, the away slate in 2026. I mean, that's next season, Ted. We're going to get to go to the Swamp, and we're going to get to go to Sanford Stadium. That's going to be awesome. I also got to get some good earplugs because we're going to Starkville as well.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I was ready for all of the scheduling content just to be mag dumped on us all at once.
It was too much. I was overloaded. You threw all of this on top of the Mateer news, and I was like, I'm overwhelmed. Stop it. Too much content. Please help.
I thought it lays out really nice. Like there's no, with the way that they had to do this, there was a big risk for, some repeat games that you had just had. The only one I saw, and it was to our benefit, is Ole Miss is coming to Norman 2 times in a row, right? This year and next year. And outside of that, you get the cycle where you see everyone home and away in 4 years. So you come to school at an SEC program and stay there and don't transfer out. You get to play every team in the conference home and away during your time on campus. That's how it should be. And that hasn't been the case in this conference in the past.
I've got a feeling that 2027 trip to Nashville to play Vanderbilt is going to be well attended by Sooner Nation.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a fun one.
That'll be awesome. That's one that I was actually hoping we were going to get to a little quicker.
I'm with you. Same. But hey, at least it's on there. We know when it's coming. But yeah, it was fun to get that because I'm a planner, man. I love having stuff way in advance. But I was just like, man, just give me 2026. That's all I need. I don't need the other three.
It was a lot.
You get the 4 years because SEC is going to expand in 2030.
You think so?
We're going to add 2 teams. That's how it feels.
Who are you thinking?
North Carolina, Clemson.
Yeah.
Florida State feels like Florida will push against that pretty hard.
Well,
they'll end up in the Big Ten.
The way I've always looked at it is if you want to expand your conference, you want to expand your fan base and your reach. And Florida State, you're already immersed there with Florida. I don't know that you expanded all that much. That's why I think North Carolina is, probably your easiest bet there. And I've even heard some other teams thrown in there, but that don't make as much sense.
Virginia is one that gets thrown in a lot because hey, it's the flagship in the state of Virginia. Also, a lot of SEC teams would view North Carolina and Virginia as like, yeah, bring them in. That's a win for us. Bring them in.
There's a lot of players along that coast over there. There's some good recruiting. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable to expect, at least at some point.
That's what I'm expecting. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what ends up happening, but I'm expecting once this schedule model plays out, like 2 ACC teams are going to get added to the SEC.
Yeah.
That's
Makes
kind of what
sense.
I'm expecting. Now, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole any farther.
Right. It's never ending.
It is just a fantastic slate in week
Yes, it
5.
is. Yes, it is.
But we're going to preview the 3 marquee games, the headliners. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. Schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
with ice cold beers, great food, and TVs all around, Pub W is the perfect spot to catch OU football and NFL Sundays. Pub W has been voted best happy hour 3 years in a row and serves brunch Saturday and Sunday mornings until 2 p.m. You can enjoy classics like chicken and waffles and their steak breakfast burrito, as well as unique dishes like the Big Country Benedict. Plus, brunch berries, mimosas, and espresso martinis. Visit pubdub.com to find a location near you. Pub W, good food, good drinks, good people.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
South Oval Lager is the NIL beer, and it's more than just that. It's program beer with pride in every sip. South Oval Lager is brought to you by Bagman Beverages, a collaboration between Skydance Brewing and Red and West. It's made by Sooner fans for Sooner fans. Their mission is to build a brand that tastes like tradition while investing in the future. Every South Oval Lager you drink supports NIL in Oklahoma through donations to the Sooner Club. Find it at Skydance Brewing or at any of their local retail partners across Oklahoma. Email drink@bagmanbeverages.com for more information or visit their website, bagmanbeverages.com. South Oval Lager, it's program beer. All right, time to preview the best matchups of week 5 of college football. And there are a lot of good ones, but we're going to focus on the big 3. Let's start with number 4 LSU at number 13 Ole Miss. This is a 2:30 kickoff on ABC. Ole Miss is currently a 1.5-point favorite. Are you surprised that they're favored in this game?
No. I think that
the odds makers have seen Trinidad Chambliss ball.
That's right.
That guy looks incredible.
I think that at least my feeling is that LSU is in a weird spot right now, and it's hard to know what exactly to make of them. And the fact that it's at Ole Miss, you give them a little bit of an edge. At least what we now know today, Ole Miss is the most complete football team that LSU will have faced, right? And with the offense that they've got, defense is playing pretty well, also physical. I mean, it's not a shock to me that they're just a slight favorite considering it's at home.
Yeah,
during the day, not a night game, as Kiffin pointed out. But I think that's about where I am. I think Ole Miss wins a really close one.
I think they're favored because Ole Miss's offense with Trinidad Chambliss at quarterback has looked really, really good. It has looked more explosive and more efficient than Garrett Nussmeier and that LSU offense have at any point this season. So Kiffin has to roll with Chambliss, right? Like even once Simmons did not look good when he got in the game. Like that clearly The ankle issue is not a good one for him, but I feel like with how good he has looked, that decision has almost been made for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. No, that's how I see it. I mean, I guess you really never know what the dynamic was with the two quarterbacks, as they were rolling into the season and how much separation there was. But when the backup guy goes in and lights it up and looks smooth and looks efficient, sometimes you just roll with a hot hand.
Well, he's not turning it over the way that Austin Simmons was.
That's right.
Simmons was throwing it to the other team. So I don't think Ole Miss is nearly as good on defense as they were a year ago, but we haven't seen LSU find a rhythm on offense, and they're really struggling to run it efficiently. And that passing game with Garrett Nussmeier, it hasn't been as explosive as everyone was expecting it to be, but the LSU defense has been elite so far. There's also one thing with this game I do not know how to factor into the analysis. It's not nothing. It appears Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating LSU linebacker Whit Weeks. I'm sure Kiffin was aware with this, but he's been having some fun with it. Did you see his tweet?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Take the over.
Hey, I like that. I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's a very interesting dynamic, and the timing is fascinating as well.
Maybe
Uh,
Kiffin's daughter's just playing some mind games. Maybe they're not actually dating. I don't know what's going on there, but it's become quite the storyline heading into this game.
yeah, pretty unique situation. Yeah, I don't know how you factor that in, and what exactly that means. You could probably use it as some head games out there on the field, perhaps, but I don't know. Let me ask you this. And I'm with you. LSU's defense has looked excellent. With the offenses and kind of what we know of them now in hindsight, does that change your opinion at all on LSU's defense, or at least have you questioning if it's exactly as good as it looks?
I know what you mean because Clemson has just fallen apart, and
Yeah.
then Florida's offensive attack continues to be a disaster. They haven't seen anything like what Ole Miss is about to throw at them with the tempo, the RPO stuff, pushing it down the field. I, I, I like the over. Like
Right.
I think there's going to be some points scored in this game by both offenses, and I just does Lane Kiffin, is he going to see red and make some coaching mistakes, or has the daughter situation, is it going to give them the ultimate clarity for play calling? I don't know. I don't know how to factor it in, but I like Ole Miss to win the game.
Yeah.
I went back and forth on this one because I think LSU's the more talented team, and I do think they'll be able to run it more efficiently in this game against that Ole Miss defense. But I just think the Rebels are coming into this game with a ton of confidence. Chambliss is playing really, really well. You have to assume that environment's going to make things tough on LSU. And kind of like you mentioned, Ted, this will by far be the most explosive offense that LSU defense has seen. So I like Ole Miss. I may end up regretting it because I do think that LSU, if you just line up the rosters, is a better team. But this is college football, man. Environment matters, momentum, like all those things. Give me Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
Yeah. And LSU is, at least it feels like over the last couple of years, been a team that comes together kind of late, and it still feels, at least to me, like they haven't hit that full stride so far. Now, what's the reasoning behind that? Not exactly sure, but yeah,
I think their offensive line's not very good. I think that's their issue.
yeah,
That,
that hurts. I
that
don't know.
hurts.
I no result in this would be shocking. If Ole Miss wins by a couple of scores, wouldn't shock me. If LSU, okay, yep, they're for real. If they win by a couple of scores, wouldn't shock me. I expect a close, kind of like you said, both teams going to score a lot of points. I think it'll probably come down to the fourth quarter, but yeah, I'm edge Ole Miss.
We're both laying it with the Rebs. How about that? All right, on to the next game. Maybe the biggest game of the college football season so far. Number 6 Oregon heads to number 3 Penn State. This will be 6:30 NBC. Penn State is currently a 3.5-point favorite. And I didn't look this up, but this has to be a whiteout game, right?
I think it is.
It's got to
Yeah,
be. It's got to be.
I do think I heard someone say that.
But clearly a massive game, a huge game for James Franklin and the Penn State program because, Ted, this is supposed to be their year. And if you are a national championship caliber team, this is a game you win. And I say that fully aware that the team that won the Natty last year lost their last regular season game. But it feels like Penn State needs this one. Like coaches, players, fan base, like they need it. They need to see them be able to get this done. And if they do, like that's the thing that propels them forward in this season. But it feels like all the pressure is on Penn State in this game.
Yeah, I agree. The strange thing about this one to me is, you know, we're 4 weeks into the season and there's been a lot of stuff happen. Seen a lot of teams. There's been a lot of great games. I don't know anything about either one of these teams. That neither one of them have really played anyone of note that's tested them at all. So, yeah, Oregon has played really well. They've scored a ton of points. The offense is, functioning just like you would expect. Penn State has been Penn State, and they've done kind of what they always do to their opponents. But, I mean, whatever questions you had about either one of these teams before the season, you haven't had a chance to answer any of those yet, in my opinion, with the teams that they've played. So kind of flying blind to a large degree going into this one. I just slightly favor the home team here. And, I like the way that Penn State plays at home. And, if it goes the way they want, they can keep that Oregon offense sidelined and keep them out of rhythm. But it's hard to know. Like you kind of have to see what these teams were at their peak last year to get a gauge for where you think they can go. But, these are different teams. So it's all that to say, it's just a very hard game to handicap as to what you think is going to happen. At least for me, it is.
Right. I think we're about to find out a lot about both of these squads in this one.
Yeah.
Now, Oregon has certainly played, more talented teams than Penn State. Penn State has gone cupcake, cupcake, cupcake to get ready for this game. And one thing about it is like it's just very, very difficult for me to pick against Dan Lanning. He's become one of my favorite coaches in the sport, and he's got this incredibly talented roster. And I say that knowing it's very, very difficult to go on the road and beat a really good team like Penn State, especially when you're playing Dante Moore at quarterback, who is so talented, but relatively inexperienced, right? And I have to assume that the Penn State defense is going to find some ways to make more uncomfortable than he's been up to the point in this season.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of banking on Moore making some mistakes in this game. So I'm taking Penn State. I don't know if I love that hook, Ted.
No.
That hook on that 3.5, don't love it. But I honestly hate the pick. But because I don't really trust Drew Aller in these types of games. And I don't really trust Penn State to be as explosive as Oregon offensively, but dude, it's just a straight up vibes pick. Wide out, massive game for the program and what it means for the season. And James Franklin, he only loses games where he's the underdog.
Right.
He wins all the games where they're favored.
Right.
So that's the three reasons. Like Penn State's got more experience at quarterback. The crowd is going to be going nuts for this game. And I think they can make things a little more difficult on Dante Moore than what he's seen so far this season. So I'll lay the 3.5 very reluctantly. You got to win the whiteout if you're supposed to be a national championship caliber team, right? You can't lose the whiteout.
What's interesting to me is I think one of, at least from what I mean, I haven't been able to be in a locker room or go to practice or anything, but Lanning has a very good knack for taking whatever the opponent feels like their edge, kind of off-field edge coming into the game, whatever that is, and use it as fuel for his football team. And I imagine he's going to do that in this game. It's weird. I see this as either Penn State wins a really close field goal game or Oregon wins it kind of going away.
That line feels it's a blinking red light to take Oregon plus 3.5.
That's where I'm going. I feel like it's a field goal if Penn State
where I want to be. It's where I want to be, Ted, but the vibes, I'm just going on the vibes, man.
Vibes. Hey, sometimes all you need are vibes, right?
Fair enough.
And Penn State needs some good vibes in this one. I will say that Penn State wins the game, but if I'm betting this one, I'm taking Oregon in the points.
Okay. That's fair. I like that we're on different sides of that game. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our third game.
I've got to take it all sides in that game.
I think I made a great case to take the points with Oregon, and then I said I'm taking Penn State. So it is what it is, man. All right, last game here. Number 17, Alabama goes to number 5, Georgia. That'll be 6:30 on ABC. Georgia is currently a 3.5-point favorite. It's kind of weird seeing a number 17 and next to Bama's name, by the way. Still kind of jarring seeing two digits next to Alabama. But both teams coming off a bye. Both teams should be ready, rested. I mean, this is what a matchup, Ted. These two programs have set the standard in college football for over the last 15, 16 years. Can't wait for this game. These two programs in prime time. Yes, I know where I will be on Saturday night. I will be on my couch watching this one and Oregon-Penn State side by side. I cannot wait.
Please, football gods. And I don't know if you're a YouTube TV guy, but I am. Can we please get multi-view with this game, with these two games? Please, that's all I ask, multi-view. But there's a very strong tendency for YouTube to pick the exact games that I want to watch together and not allow it for whatever reason.
You should be able to just pick your games.
I know. There must be some like the networks, we don't want, I don't know how it works, but hopefully we can watch them both at the same time.
Alabama has bounced back nicely from the whooping they took from Florida State in the opener. Ty Simpson has been slinging that thing to Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. I like watching the guy play. I think he's a fun player. I like the way that he lets it rip, but he's fun. But I worry about their lack of balance offensively. They didn't run it well against Florida State and honestly didn't run it very well against Wisconsin. So can they produce the explosive plays against the Georgia defense that we saw Tennessee produce? I'm not so sure. Like a couple of those huge plays for Tennessee against Georgia was just Chris Brazzell going up and mossing dudes, you know?
Yeah.
So can Ryan Williams do that? Jeremy Bernard, who's been really good. I are they going to make those types of plays? Maybe they do. I don't know, but this game feels like a pick 'em to me. I just think Georgia really showed me something staying in the fight the way that they did against Tennessee, man. I I can't go against the dogs at home in this one. And I still I don't think Bama's really figured out all the issues, you know?
Yeah. I I have to roll with Georgia, who has appeared to be the more complete football team. Um, Now, are they what they've been in the past in comparison to everyone else? No, I don't think so. I think the gap is there may not be a gap, frankly. Um, but I don't have the confidence in Alabama right now. I'd like to say that like Alabama kind of reminds me they're like a zombie right now where everyone knows they're dead, but they may be actually a little bit more dangerous as a dead program than as, operating how they've got everyone in the world's attention. No one feels like they have an edge. But right now, it's a rare situation where the country's sleeping on the program, right? And there's reason for that. Don't get me wrong, but I really like what I've seen from their passing attack. I don't know that they have the balance to be able. If this one was in Tuscaloosa, I'd probably pick Alabama. But with it being in Georgia and the way Georgia's program continues to function at a high level in all areas, I got to roll with Georgia. But, you know, the other part of it is this. I don't know how you see it, but I think Georgia's going to make the SEC championship game. Okay. And I want Oklahoma to make the SEC championship game. So I think it's really a race between us and everyone but Georgia. And I want everyone but Georgia to accumulate losses. I think that helps Oklahoma's case to maybe have a chance to be there at the end. So I think Georgia's going to win that game, and I'm also rooting for Georgia to win that game.
Would you? Well, we'll get back to the breakdown, the analysis for Bama Georgia. Would you rather OU play in the SEC championship game or OU host a first round playoff game?
Host a first round playoff game.
That's where I'm at too. And you best believe, buddy, I've thought of a 9-3 OU with a loss to Texas where John Mateer did not play in the game is absolutely in a college football playoff and probably hosting a first round game. Because the committee would have to take that into account. It's like, oh, they lost to Texas, but Mateer didn't play. Who cares?
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time thinking about it.
I think everyone's been like, as soon as they heard that thought, I mean, everyone's head went to the same place. Probably.
Well, I think a 9-3 Oklahoma coming into the season, we were going, yeah, 9-3 Oklahoma makes the playoff. A 9-3 Oklahoma with the loss where John Mateer doesn't play in the game. What are we even talking about? I think the Sooners are in. Now, would they be hosting? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. And the 3 losses matter as well. You know, it's almost better if you lose a game to someone who's not a contender, because it's hard to put someone at 9-3 in when the 3 teams you lost to are playoff teams.
I see what you're saying, but
some of the playoff teams.
I see what you're saying, but I disagree. Well, you want your losses to be as good as possible. I don't know.
But no, I totally understand that. But if like at the end of the season you lose to Alabama and LSU late, Texas without, I mean, you have to, like, you need to look good going in, not, I don't know. Who knows? Just
If
win them all.
OU's going to lose games, do it while John Mateer's not playing.
That's right.
That's maybe the best thing. Okay, back to Bama, Georgia. We're back. Kirby is 1-6 against Bama. With that in mind, Ted, do you know the last time Georgia lost at home?
I don't.
Their last home loss was to South Carolina on October 14th, 2019.
Woo.
And that was a double overtime loss. Do you know their last loss in regulation at home?
No.
Georgia Tech on November 26th, 2016.
Woo.
Georgia has won 33 straight at home. 20 of those have been SEC games. They've won 20 SEC games in a row at home.
What was Kirby's first year there? Was that 2016?
Yeah. I think this is his 10th season there.
Wow. That's crazy.
So
Very
this game feels like a pick 'em to me. And I think Georgia really showed me something when it came to them staying in the fight in that Tennessee game and just finding a way. The lack of balance for Bama's offense. I think Kirby will have a plan for Williams and Bernard. So give me the dogs at home. And I think I actually like the over 52.5 in this game. I think there's going to be some points scored.
Yeah. They're going to have to get Ryan Williams going down the field and kind of think what we saw with Tennessee. That feels like the biggest or maybe only weakness that Georgia has is if you can push it down the field on them. It's interesting because like this is the measuring stick game for the elite of the SEC. And it looked like last year, okay, let's see where these two programs stand up. And Georgia had Alabama beat. And somehow Alabama won that football game. And part of me thinks that, there's a lot of fuel for Georgia to show that they truly have separated. We'll see how it goes. I'm taking Georgia.
Okay. It's going to be an awesome, awesome weekend of college football.
Very good. And it's a good one on a bye week to be able to sit back and enjoy.
If only Mateer's thumb was just.
Maybe we'll have surgery. Some like amazing news with it, right? Like, hey, things were great. He's going to be back before you know it.
Let's hope. Positive vibes only. Let's hope.
Right.
All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. But first, for all of us Sooners, there comes a time when we need help. We need someone to fight for us, and that Sooner is Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. If you are battling cancer or any other life-threatening condition and your insurance carrier is either slow playing or outright denying your treatment, use the law to get the medical care you need. Marr Law Firm believes you shouldn't have to fight your insurance company while also fighting for your life. Go to see Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. They turn victims of insurance bad faith into champions. And 3 things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. As always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Well, I got to go with our 12-team college football playoff format lovers out there because they got a meeting going on here pretty quickly at Big Ten headquarters, trying to figure out the future of the college football playoff. Sources say they're pretty skeptical that there's going to be a resolution with the format moving forward. They only have until December 1st. If they don't have a vote agreed upon on what the format is moving forward, well, you're going to get the 12-team playoff again next season. So at least currently, it looks like it's trending in that direction. Who knows? They've got time. December 1st is close, but still kind of far away for them to be able to figure out exactly what they can all agree on. But it does feel like it's trending towards no resolution.
Why?
I
Doesn't
don't know.
everyone want the 16-team playoff?
I don't know. I don't know what anyone wants anymore.
Fair enough. Is it just the Big Ten still going? We want to do the play-in games because we think it would be great for television. It seems like that's Petitti's big deal. Is he wants to play in weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded originally like the big hangup was the amount of conference games being played. Right, that was the Big Ten's biggest hangup with the SEC. Well, the SEC has remedied that moving forward, and like I don't know. The other part of it that the SEC wanted was, well, we want the strength of the schedule to be included in the selection process, and that sounds like you're getting that. I don't know exactly. I mean, they've said they're going to pay attention to that. I don't know, like in writing, what that looks like, but it feels like we've gotten to where we needed to be, and there's still pushback for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just all posturing. But when they get together, they're going to find out that the common ground and what they all want is actually they're way closer to that than what the outside is saying. And maybe we do get an answer, but Heather Dinich, who's usually got a pretty good beat on it, says they're pretty skeptical. So I don't know.
I'm fine with it staying at 12.
I kind of am too.
Do you think maybe that's just where everyone's at? They're like, you know what? 12's pretty solid. 12-team playoff. Rolls off the tongue.
Well, I think that last year's 12 team had a lot of people upset, and there was a big push like, we cannot do this again. And it's not shaping up to look the same as it looked last year. It's shaping up to look like you got a bunch of big boys that are going to be playing in there. And if that's the case, they kind of, and they fix the seeding a little bit. So if you end up having a great 12 teams in with a bunch of great home sites and good football games, I could see everyone saying, hey, you know what? This ain't so bad. So I don't know.
We need another round of home playoff games, so
Totally agree.
I would like to see that change.
Semifinal and championship neutral site. That's it.
I think that would, if you can sign me up right now for a 12-team playoff where the first two rounds are played on campus and you can give me that for the rest of eternity, I would sign up for it right now.
Totally agree.
I'm all for it. That would be great.
Semifinal and championship. You need to, if you have to do your bowl thing, you do it, in the semifinal, and then have your national championship. I think, and I don't think, as long as the seeding stuff works out the way it looks like it's going to, better than in year one, I think most people would agree with that. But I guess we'll find out what they give us, what scraps they throw us. It's the people watching don't have a voice in it ever.
Never. One other thing, they need to bid it out to multiple networks. Nothing against ESPN, but
more money too.
It's more money, more coverage. It only makes sense, to do it the way that the NFL does it with the playoffs.
I agree.
Rotate who gets the title game even. I think that would
need to go around. There's plenty for everyone to make money.
Live sports. Networks are interested in that, especially football.
That's right.
Who do you have as your loser of the week?
the college football content machine, Oklahoma. Uh, the announcement was made yesterday that Mike Gundy's no longer the head football coach at Oklahoma State. And then about, I don't know, 3, 4 hours later, the Mateer news kind of stomped all over that around here, anyways. But that's a huge deal. This is a very, very dangerous moment for Oklahoma State football. They have to get this hire right. And Mike Gundy has been incredible at Oklahoma State. I understand all the frustration, and I'm not saying it wasn't the time to do it. I'm just saying that it is a unique job. Mike Gundy has elevated that program, and they are not able to have a gimme hire to where we tried it, it didn't work, let's go another direction. It feels like, at least to me, they have to hit this hire out of the park, and it has to be the right one, the right fit for them. Like, they need to engage their fan base, they need to engage donors, but at the same time, they have to be able to make the right pick to where this hire hits the ground running in recruiting, in transfer portal, in scheme, in building the program back to where it has to be in order to win in the Big 12. And like I said, it's a unique job. It's in a interesting spot. Recruiting is not the easiest. It's a unique situation. So with pressure's on, now it's moved from all the pressure's on Gundy. Now all the pressure is on the organization to make the right pick.
All the pressure's on Chad Weiberg, which just an electric press conference he put on. Just must listen stuff. I I hate that it ended the way that it did. I don't understand why they did it on a Tuesday. That was really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, they played Friday night. It, maybe it was, hey, we had to find the money for the buyout,
Yeah.
and we didn't find it until Tuesday morning. That's the only thing that I can really think of. I was not a fan of how this unfolded for Mike Gundy. I think there are like 11 double-digit win seasons in the history of OSU football. I think there are 11 double-digit win seasons in the history of OSU football, and Gundy's been a part of 10 of them.
Yeah.
And you can him on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, and I don't.
From what I saw, like staff and players found out on Twitter.
Right.
Like that's not how you do this, man.
Yeah,
There's no good way to do it, but this is certainly
Yeah.
way up there on the worst ways to do it.
I guess my only pushback or whatever you want to call it is maybe they wanted to give Gundy the opportunity to resign or step aside or negotiate something on the. I don't know, and he was like, "No, I'm staying here. You're gonna you're gonna have to fire me for me to leave." And they tried to work something out and couldn't get. I don't know. That would be the only thing, the only reason I would say that it went into Tuesday, but I don't know how that went.
Who's the right guy for the job?
I don't know. It sounds like Zach Robinson's where they want to go, right? If you believe any of that, and maybe that's a great hire. I think that accomplishes your, engaging the fan base and the people around the program. But I don't know. I don't know what his chops are in recruiting and being able to operate a college football program top to bottom. I don't know.
I think it would be now there's money does a lot of talking, but I think it would be difficult to leave a coordinator position in the NFL to go lead a college football program with the current state of college football.
unless you get a bunch of guarantees as to the resources you're going to have to operate with.
Which I think out of all the candidates, because you've seen like GJ Kinney, Ben Arbuckle's name has come up. Like you've seen all kinds of different candidates for this job. But I think out of all the candidates, Zach Robinson could get the most financial support from that fan base because he's one of them.
And that's probably what they need the most right now.
And in a perfect world, Zach Robinson is just the next Mike Gundy. Played quarterback there, takes the program over, has a ton of success.
Yep.
Like if Oklahoma State fans could sign up for Mike Gundy's record under Zach Robinson, I think they would take that right now.
I totally agree. And here's the bottom line. If you have a coach that is this good and he's got this much NIL to work with, it's going to elevate your program further than if you take a coach that is this good and he only has half the NIL. Like, you need money, especially in the situation they're in right now. Like, I don't know how many guys are going to be left on that roster. I don't know how many players are going to be left in their recruiting class. Like, the biggest thing they need right now is buy-in from donors to get this program where they need to go. And if Zach Robinson gets you more buy-in from your donors, that's the direction you need to go. You know, and like you said, I don't know what his willingness is to leave, and money talks. You know, you don't get a whole lot of options to go make $5-6 million a year as a head coach at your alma mater. Pretty compelling.
No doubt about it. Let me know if you think this is a bad idea. Zach Robinson mobilizes the big money donors at Oklahoma State. And then he makes it known, hey, if you come play at Oklahoma State, we're running an NFL offense. I'm going to get you ready for the league. I'm going to take what I'm doing in Atlanta and we're going to run it in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And if you want to be ready to play in the NFL as an offensive lineman, as a back, as a quarterback, as a receiver, you come play at Oklahoma State. We'll pay you. We got the money. We're doing revenue share. We're doing an IL on top of it. But do not come here if you do not want to be prepared to go play in the National Football League. Can he pull that off in Stillwater? Can you do it that way in Stillwater? I don't know. It sounds pretty good coming out of my mouth, but I just don't know if it's realistic.
Well, I think it's realistic.
Like, we're not doing all the RPO lineman downfield stuff. You're going to run play action pass. You're going to run an actual boot. Atlanta is an outside zone team with Bijan Robinson. Like, I think he could make a compelling recruiting case to people. The money's got to be there. And you're in the Big 12. You're not in the SEC or the Big 10. I understand that, but I don't know. You could, if you're Zach Robinson, you can build a pretty good recruiting pitch. You say, hey, this is Bijan Robinson. This is what I do with him. You show all the running back recruits. You know, like that type of stuff. I don't know. It just, I've always thought the easiest
put it
recruiting.
up on the screen. Here's what we're going to run. You know, you just show all your NFL stuff.
This is our offense. Our plays are going to have words.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have letters and words and numbers. There's going to be formations. We're not just going to line up and run race car or bottle you're going to learn how to speak football language. I don't know. It's just the way I would do it if I was a head coach in college football. So maybe I've just tried to speak it into existence.
Well, you got to leverage what's available to you. And what he's got available is NFL experience. I mean, the college knowledge, clearly. You know, OSU is a place that you could definitely go to the NFL. We've seen them put a ton of great players into the league on both sides of the ball, frankly. And Yeah, I think that's a great way to leverage it. We'll see though. I mean, at the end of the day, I whatever they have to do to engage the money wing of that program and that donor base, that's what they've got to do. I mean, you're going to have your wants and your needs, and your needs right now are money and getting things going in the transfer portal. So how they marry those two is going to be the real balancing act here. And like I said, like the pressure has moved from Gundy to the decision makers, and they got to get it right because the program, it feels like it's kind of hanging in the balance, right? You don't have to, you just go back and take a peek at what was Oklahoma State before Mike Gundy, and not very good for a long time and in the shadows for a long time. So they're in danger of falling into that same spot, and you don't have a do-over at this hire, in my opinion.
I'm with man. I I feel like Zach Robinson is the move, but we'll see what ends up
Yeah,
happening. He's kind of coaching an NFL season right now. So
it's got some things going on.
I will he just leave and take a I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, we are Mando Men. This is actually the deodorant both of us use. And new customers can go to shopmando.com and get 20% off site wide and free shipping with our code OK Breakdown. Cheering for your squad is hard work, which makes the deodorant you choose very important. Mando's sweat control deodorant stick stops odor before it starts, and they have great scents like bourbon leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. Mando's starter pack is also perfect for new customers. It comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get 20% off site wide and free shipping on shopmando.com with our code OK Breakdown. That's shopmando.com, code OK Breakdown for 20% off and free shipping for new customers. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. I want to introduce y'all to the fantastic razors from Harry's. Listen, we get it. Two bearded guys telling you need to try some razors, but hey, bearded fellas, we gotta line stuff up. Got to make that neck look good. Got to make the cheek line look good. Don't want to be looking sloppy out there. And this Harry's Plus razor has been awesome. Now they sent us orange, which is hilarious, but they have other colors. Don't worry. I went and checked. And I also love this foaming shave gel. Feels like I'm able to give myself a barbershop quality shave to get things looking nice and crisp. And we know a lot of y'all are clean shaven guys. Try these razors. Try the shave gel. They've been great. And luckily, for a limited time, our listeners can get Harry's trial set for only $8 plus a free gift at harrys.com/OK Breakdown. Just head over to harrys.com/OK Breakdown to receive our exclusive discount. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. All right, for my winner of the week, give me patriotism, baby, because it's Ryder Cup time. Here we go. Bethpage Black in New York. Fun fact, Ted, the away squad hasn't won since 2012 when the Europeans got us at Medina. Can't let it happen again. Come on, boys. I'm not gonna let an incredibly good slate of college football completely distract me from the Ryder Cup. This will be on a screen somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. It is kind of interesting that they do it at this time of year.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And I also hate that it was OU bye week and I forgot it was the Ryder Cup was happening this weekend because I might have gone. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. That is like the most underrated. Like whenever you ask people what golf event would you want, Masters is always up there, US Open, and those are great. Don't get me wrong, but Ryder Cup might be the most entertaining to go watch.
I think it's at the top of the list for me. Like
Yeah.
at some point, an OU bye week and the Ryder Cup are going to line up again, and I am going.
Because you've got like if you go to a Masters or a US Open, you're kind of just watching everything, and then like you've got the people that you're rooting for, but in the Ryder Cup, like every single grouping that comes through, you've got a big cheering interest. So it would be awesome.
How we feeling about our chances? When you look at it on paper, like certainly the Europeans have more name recognition than us. You
Yep.
got to be honest about it.
Yep. They do. But, you know, home field is a factor. And, you know, at we got this, we're top heavy. We got some big names at the top that need to do some damage in all of their pairings and matchups.
Got to get off to a hot start on Friday. You got to win the foursomes.
Yeah.
Teams are 9-2 in the Ryder Cup since 2000 when they win the foursome matches. So you got to get off to a hot start. You got to get the vibes going out there in New York. You got to get the crowd juiced so that they'll let the Europeans know how happy they are that they're over here.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like Bryson DeChambeau just has to set a tone. If he drives the green on one, I may lose it. You know what I mean?
Started off with some fireworks.
That'd be awesome. But I mean, you just look at the roster. Cameron Young, local guy, got to play well.
Yep.
You got to play well. Sam Burns, you're on the team, man. Everyone knows you're one of the best putters in the world. That flat stick needs to be on fire, brother. Harris English, you don't show much emotion, but show me some emotion, Harris.
Give us a fist bump every now and then.
Russell Henley, it may shock some people to know he's the number 3 player in the world. Russell, we need you to play like the number 3 player in the world.
Who is this guy?
I'm not worried about JJ Spawn. I just look at that guy. I'm like, yeah, he's built for Ryder Cups.
Yep.
So there's some
like
absolute wild cards.
He'll have the energy of a practice round out there. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I won't lie. I hope that Matt Fitzpatrick continues to suck in Ryder Cups. And Rasmus Hogard, I hope you crumble under the pressure in your first appearance, sir.
He will. He will. He'll fold.
We need to get in their heads. Now, I will give the Europeans the first win on the board. Did you see the picture of the Ryder Cup gala?
No.
Americans went no ties and white sneakers with suits.
Huh.
Euros, ties, black dress shoes. They just looked way sharper than us. Now, our boys were undoubtedly more comfortable. There's no doubt. But it's a gala, man. If you're going to a gala, if it's called a gala, you have to wear a tie and you have to wear dress shoes. It's a gala.
What message do you think that sent to the Europeans that we're golf only? We don't care about galas?
Maybe. But all I know is the European guys looked way better than us.
No points, though, unfortunately, for them for looking better at the gala.
That's really all the analysis I got. You mentioned it. Can we not just play this before football season starts? Like, can't we do this week 0? Yeah. I know it'll be hotter. I don't care. Like, this event should be, and it's a huge deal, but I feel like it should be, it's one of the coolest sporting events in the world every 2 years. Like, it should be the focus of the sports world when it's going on, and it just gets kind of lost because of college football and the NFL.
I think the outside of the golf world, it's I forgot the Ryder Cup was this weekend because everyone is in full on football mode. Like, you're right. It needs to be the focal point of that week, whatever's happening out there. Week 0, preseason, like whatever it needs to be. But I don't know. I get it, the calendar stuff, but you feel like it would do so much better ratings wise if they had everyone's attention.
Ben Griffin's going to have those shades on, and he's just going to be burying birdie putts.
I mean, just think of how many people across the United States are going to be in football stadiums and not at TVs. I'm not even talking about the people at home watching football, just in stadiums across the country. Millions, millions and millions.
Correct. I do not get the timing. Like everyone, it feels like everyone tries to avoid competing for football. And golf puts its coolest event directly against college football and the NFL. Maybe Europeans don't, the Europeans probably don't care. But I just, it feels silly.
Yep, I agree.
They definitely have bigger names on paper. But hey, USA, USA, USA. And can we just talk about the actual golf instead of the money part? The guys are donating the payment to charity. Get over it, people. High and mighty Europeans, oh, we're playing for free. No one cares. They're giving it to charity. You're actually doing charities in Europe a disservice by not taking money and giving it to them. Guys, selfish.
Yeah. You're not going to get much sympathy for anyone that you are not getting paid and you're playing in like the coolest golf event there is. So
yeah, no one feels bad for you. All right, for my loser of the week. Thought about going with the Houston Rockets. Fred VanVleet tore his ACL in a workout. Going to miss the season.
Brutal.
Big blow. Remember they traded for Kevin Durant, considered a serious contender heading into the season. The NBA season starts in like 4 weeks, by the way.
I know.
I think Banner Night's less than 4 weeks away for the Thunder. I'm not mentally
trying
prepared.
To gather myself from the end. I mean, that's what happens if you play all the way to the finals. Like a couple of weeks ago, you were in a championship parade. It feels like
it's upon us. I'll be ready to go. I'll find it when the time comes. I'll find it. Don't worry. But my loser of the week, give me the Dallas Cowboys. This is becoming a theme, Ted.
They had a little bit of, energy out of the gate, but it looks like that's going to start fading pretty quickly.
Dropped to 1-2 on the season after they got carved up by Caleb Williams in the Bears last Sunday. 298 and 4 touchdowns for Caleb in that one. 31-14 win for the Bears. But so they lose that game. They're 1-2. Not great. But the problem is they keep losing key players. CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain. Talk of him being put on IR. Hate to see it for the former Sooner. We love CeeDee. But clearly a massive, massive blow for that Cowboys offense. And then Tyler Booker, first-round offensive lineman, starting for him. He's got a high ankle. Supposed to be pretty bad. I've seen 4 to 6 weeks for that. I believe Cooper Beebe, their center, got hurt. So they're losing starters on offense. They're 1-2. And reminder, if you get put on IR now, you have to miss the next 4 games. And guess who they play this week, Ted?
Yeah, they got the big boys. They got Parsons coming. Not good to be missing offensive line when you're about to play the Packers and Micah Parsons.
Sunday Night Football against Micah Parsons and the Packers. And it's almost already written. You know he's going to have like 3 or 4 sacks. It's going to happen. Sack, strip, fumble, Prescott, ball out, scoop and score. Like you just know it's going to happen.
And you may even get a loud roar whenever it does happen from Cowboys fans. Yeah, who are Cowboys fans cheering for this matchup?
They may just boo Jerry Jones.
I know it.
But this is where the Cowboys are at. And remember, this is the NFL. It's not college football. The Packers are a 6.5-point favorite in Dallas. That's a large number in the NFL. So
not large enough for me. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, no kidding. Packers look good. They're coming off a loss to the Browns, though. So you're like, okay, how good are they? That clip of their left tackle screaming at Jordan Love to run when he gets beat by Myles Garrett is an all-time clip. Jordan, ride.
Get out of here. That's so funny.
But yeah, just things not going smoothly for the Dallas Cowboys. It just feels like everything has been really off with the vibes of that organization ever since the Parsons trade.
Yeah.
Now they had a lot of issues before that, don't get me wrong, but that in particular, it seems like has really put this season on tilt for them, man. And we'll see how it goes Sunday. Maybe they surprise everyone and they light the Packers up, but it's hard to imagine.
It's hard to imagine. This is the NFL, though. You're right. It ain't college football. The best team can lose to the worst team on a given night easily. So, but all that being said, I still think Green Bay is going to go in and get it done, maybe easily.
It's almost worse for the Cowboys that Green Bay lost to Cleveland.
I know.
Because
that's what I was thinking when you said it.
Maybe if they're riding in at 3-0, feeling great about things, you get that little natural, oh, the Cowboys aren't any good. We're going to go in there. But no, it's going to be a tough week of practice.
Yep.
And they're going to be coming in there angry.
Sign me up, though. I like, that has the feeling it's going to be an entertaining Sunday night game. No matter the result, it's going to be appointment television. That's what I like.
Oh, yeah.
Big brand football right there.
Birthday shout outs. Happy 7th birthday to Lily Jane Lemons.
Happy 15th birthday to Bo Brunk.
Happy 19th birthday to Susie Brunk.
Happy 38th birthday to Jonathan Techmeyer.
Happy 60th birthday to Stacy Dudark.
Happy 62nd birthday to Ken Factor.
And happy birthday. Let me try that again. Happy birthday to Logan. That's from Chels and the kids.
Very nice.
Happy birthday, Logan. On that note, episode 566 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, please check out our website, okbreakdown.com. It's got all of our stuff there in one spot for y'all. Hope y'all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Pray for John Mateer's thumb. And until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.